Hello. So I noticed there weren't too many tutorials on how to use distributed bucket rendering on YouTube, and if they were, they normally weren't in English, so it might be a bit difficult. Anyway, I thought of making my own. So to start, launch 3ds Max as an administrator. You just right-click the icon for it, the shortcut, the executable, uh, whatever's most convenient, then click Run as an administrator and type in the password if that's needed. You only need to do that once. You only need to do that to add these. So you go to Render Setup, give it a second to open up, Processing, go down to Distributed Bucket Rendering, then check Distributed Renderer. I already have my computer here that I use to render stuff. You click it to disable it. Whatever's blue is selected. To add something, you just click Add. You can type the name of the computer or the IP address, like right there. That's the name of my laptop. I know a laptop isn't really ideal for rendering, but it's a bit faster than nothing. So let's say I wanted to render on this computer. I would just type localhost for example, and it says note this action will modify the array host file. You can use the default port, you can specify a different port. I don't know if that's the port that it normally uses or not, but shit, okay. You can select, it's not like a click control shift whatever to select multiple things, it's just clicking something to enable or disable it. Now rendering using your own computer isn't exactly going to be faster. It's a placebo. Not really. What's the thing? It's like setting something to high priority in Task Manager just because it makes you feel better, but it doesn't do anything. Now, distributed maps means the files are located on both of the computers, or the 3 computers, the 4, whatever you have selected. So for me, they're not. It's going to be exclusively on this computer. So this computer will send the files it needs to other computers to run. Now, some things I heard that you do need for distributed bucket rendering is use placeholder objects. This just means instead of translating the scene as a whole, it'll only the buckets will only go until they reach something's bounding box, and then they'll translate it, and then they'll remember it from that. And use Mental Ray Map Manager. Again, I'm not 100% sure if you absolutely need those, but it's, you know, better safe than sorry. So let's just do this teapot, for example. Max out the geometry so we have at least a bit of waiting time. It's probably going to lag out the recording software I'm using. It's got to send over all the data. Like if I open Task Manager. Oh, that was a bit faster than I thought it was going to be. Actually. Well, I mean, it's going to be fast nonetheless. Oh, by the way, I don't have a 1-core processor. I just have it set to show my one thing. But anyway, it's faster for previewing stuff. And a fun thing I noticed is if you start rendering it and you click pause to pause the render, it will continue rendering using just the other computer while your main computer isn't doing anything. But if you're doing something like Final Gather, it's going to stop after each pass. It's also best to have speedy network to get it to transfer the data faster, because right now I do have a fancy Cat6 cable going from my main desktop computer, this computer, to a router, but then I have a USB adapter for my other computer, so it's not going to be as fast. So now I'm going to show you what to do on the other computer. So this is now some stuff I recorded on my laptop, but this is the same thing you do if you were on a different computer. You do this on all other computers you need to do this on. You go into the Start menu, type Services. There's several ways of getting here, but I'm just doing this for simplicity's sake. Type Services, click Services, make sure it's got the 2 gears icons, because I know there's several services in Windows. This is exactly the same on Windows 7 and 10. Scroll down until you reach the M's, then find Mental Ray, whatever it says. I can't remember exactly what it says, but you can see it on the screen because I'm recording this after the fact. right click it, hit start, stop, restart, whatever's required. You can set it to automatically start when you start Windows, like I have that set on my computer right now. I have it set on both my computers, so both of them can use distributed bucket rendering, but that's how you enable it on other computers, and I found that it was a very rare thing to find this thing on YouTube, to actually find how to enable it on other computers on YouTube. So I hope that helped a few people. Thanks for stopping by.